So, you're looking for a Mercedes S-Class that's more exclusive, more premium, more relaxing. I got you. Well, Mercedes have got you.
And they've got you with this. The 2025 Mercedes-Benz S580e AMG Line Premium Plus Executive Manufaktur. Easy for me to say. The manufacture bit on the end is very important. It's an individualization and customization program that provides buyers of high-end Mercedes models with the option to personalize their high-end cars with high-end stuff. Think better materials and meticulous craftsmanship.
When you buy your new Mercedes-Benz S-Class, you can fit it out with a bunch of exclusive manufacture bits, and that includes paint. You can obviously choose from the standard colors, there are 7 of those, or you can have manufacture magno, which is a matte finish, or manufacture exclusive.
These include some pretty vivid shades that you wouldn't normally expect on the S-Class, including Yellowstone, Classic Green, or Hyacinth Red. But one of the best on offer surely has to be the paint fitted to this test car.
This paint job is manufacture exclusive Northern Lights Violet Metallic, aka a bit purple. On a dark day, it almost looks slightly dark brown or maybe even black, but it's definitely sort of purple. And guess what? This paint job will set you back a whopping £10,200, which to me is a bit ridiculous really, isn't it?
The interior is equally ridiculous, but in a good way. There are dozens of leather choices if you wish to pay for them, including this beautiful sienna brown.
Look at this headrest. It's got a pillow. Genuinely, that is super comfortable. I fell asleep on that earlier. Really nice. And also, you don't have to have the standard 3-pointed star printed on that. You can have whatever you want. In fact, you can have your steering wheel customized as well with whatever leather color you want and whatever stitching you want and whatever steering wheel design you want, within reason. Same thing goes for the seats as well. If you want your seats finished in lime green with lime green stitching and lime green pillows and lime green floor mats, you can do that. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can do that. The manufacture option also gives you this lovely manufacture script on the center console and also around the back window. And in fact, I think you can have whatever you want written there. Very cool. Plus the dashboard trim. If you spend £2,500 extra, you can replace the standard open pore poplar, which is black, with an open pore walnut finished in brown with aluminium piping, and it looks amazing. The whole thing is set off by the ambient lighting as well. Shout out to that. I've got it in Malibu sunset mode right now and I'm getting lots of pinks and blues and whites. It does look cool, honestly. And that wood, yeah, sensational. How do you clean that though? Do you wipe it? Do you mop it? Do you lick it? Honestly, I'd lick it. It's that good.
Actually, don't lick it. It costs £2,500. Anyway, round the back, it's equally gorgeous with more sienna brown leather, more ambient lighting, stunningly comfortable mats, plenty of space, and the most comfortable seats you'll find on a car. The rear seat even reclines like those you get on a business class flight, with the front seats folding out of the way and the rear dropping backwards. There's even a footrest. Nice.
I'm gonna keep banging on about these pillows because, yeah, they're amazing. They genuinely are. They're so good. The seats in this car are next level. Super spacious, headroom galore, legroom galore. Yeah, you want to spend time back here. And there's also lots of high quality material, including more of that delicious open grain walnut back here on the center console, on the back of the seat, and also on the armrest. If you go looking, you can find some material that's maybe not the best. There's a little bit of slightly substandard leather on the back of this seat. I'm pretty sure that's not Napa leather. Also, this on the back of the seats here, that's not the best grade of leather, but genuinely, this is a nice place, especially if you opt for the rear seat entertainment package, which consists of 2 separate 11-inch displays. And they let you do things like access your media, your navigation, your phone, and a whole bunch of Merc apps. I'll show you those for a second actually, because you've got Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Weather, Browser, YouTube Web, and also, this is a new edition, an app called Ride View, which is by Sony. And that lets you watch a whole bunch of different Sony movies on the go. It's pretty cool. And one of the things that's really impressive about it is the fact that you can watch 6 different movies using one account in your car. I believe you can watch the movies on your phone, on one each of these rear screens, on the front screen, and also on this central tablet, which is delightfully pointless because all it does is kind of serve as a remote control for your screens. You don't have to lift your arm to move that around. You just do that instead. What a flex. And speaking of flex, look, it's even got a pair of these headphones. How very cool. I remember testing this generation of the S-Class about 4 years ago, and I loved it. I remember it being super refined, super luxurious, and just a wonderful thing to drive. That was the S500 version, and I loved it. But hopping into this, I can tell you straight away, this feels even better. And I think that's down to the fact that this version, the S580eL, is a plug-in hybrid. You can only get the plug-in hybrid version in a long wheelbase form, but with that you get a 3-litre straight-six engine up front, an electric motor making 150 horsepower, and a very chunky 28.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack. And they work together really well in this car.
The battery will give you an electric-only driving range of up to 62 miles. Your own mileage will depend on how fast you accelerate or how close you get to the EV-only 84 mile/hour top speed, but it's a usable distance. Driving around town, that 62-mile figure seems quite realistic.
When it's in EV mode, it is so smooth. It's like butter, trust me. It feels like a proper electric car, and it really plays to the strengths of the S-Class. It just glides. One problem you tend to find in plug-in hybrids is that after running in EV mode and the internal combustion engine kicks in, it can feel a little bit rough around the edges, a little bit unrefined. That's not the case in this car. When the petrol engine kicks in, it's really smooth. Yeah, you hear a noise, but it doesn't sound like a rattly old tractor, as a lot of PHEVs tend to do.
It's fast too. The S580 will do 0 to 62 in 4.9 seconds. That's sports car territory. Power from the internal combustion engine is 367 horsepower with an additional 150 horsepower from the e-motor, making a total of 510 horsepower. Torque is 750 newton meters, so it moves.
Okay, sport mode, foot down. It hikes up its skirt and it takes off. It's a quick car actually. What's it like through the corners? Obviously it's a big old beast, so you gotta be a little bit careful, but no, do you know what? It actually hangs on quite well. Really good grip. The one thing that's really obvious though is how slow the steering is. It's a bit like a boat, this thing. Even though it does have all-wheel steering, you do have to move the steering wheel a bit more than you might expect. But still, it hangs on quite gamely. I'm actually quite impressed by the body control as well. Obviously it does roll around a bit in the corners. You'd expect that, it's a Luxo barge, but it's reasonably well behaved. The one thing you do have to be careful of is, of course, the weight. It's 2.6 tons, this thing, and you do feel that sense of inertia when you're going through a corner very quickly, but actually, yeah, it does a decent job. The thing that I love the best about this car when you're going through the corners though, is the way it holds you in place. It's got active side bolsters, which means when you go around a right-hand bend, the left-hand bolster pushes you in the side to prop you up, and vice versa. So if you go around a left-hand bend, the right bolster moves to push you to keep you upright, so you don't have to work your core muscles when you're going around corners. I've got to say the brakes are quite decent, they're very strong. The one thing I'd moan about in that department is that there's maybe a lack of feel in the brakes. They feel a bit sort of unpredictable because they're mixing both regenerative braking and also physical braking, and they never feel 100% consistent, but they are very strong.
Where this car excels though is in the ride quality. It's epic, as you'd expect. It glides effortlessly over even imperfect roads, and even on fairly large 20-inch wheels.
I said it was like a boat earlier on in the corners, and it feels like a boat on the straights as well, but in a good way. It feels almost like a ferry, serenely and calmly floating along.
Good afternoon. Are you having a nice day so far?
I'm having a great day, Mercedes. Thank you for asking. So I forgot to mention the car does, of course, have a very good voice control system. Quite intrusive sometimes, because if you say the word beginning with M, it does butt in, but it's actually quite helpful. I'll try and demonstrate it for you. Hey Mercedes, what is what is a horse?
A horse is a large, four-legged herbivorous mammal known for its strength, speed, and grace. Horses have been domesticated by humans for thousands of years, used for transportation, work, and companionship.
Well, there you go. It tells you stuff that you didn't know you needed to know. Anyway, where was I? I wouldn't say it's 100% perfect in that regard. A lot of manufacturers tend to focus on keeping the car from rolling around too much in the bends, and they do a good job of that in the S-Class, but I've also noticed the car does like to pitch back and forth when you hit the brake. In other words, it's quite prone to diving, which makes the braking experience feel a little bit less than ideal, but that's nitpicking. This car, it rides better than 97.83% of other vehicles on the road. Believe me.
One area that the latest S-Class excels is in its motorway manners. They're impeccable, with very little wind or road noise coming into the cabin. It's a lovely place to rack up endless miles.
The self-driving feature is really good as well. All you gotta do is press this button, Set Plus, adjust the speed to exactly what you want, and the car does the rest. It will accelerate, it will brake, it will separate you from the traffic in front and keep you locked in your lane. And all you've gotta do is just sit back and relax. You gotta keep your hand on the steering wheel to let it know that you haven't fallen asleep or died, but yeah, this car's driving by itself right now. And apparently, it will even let you change lane if you indicate. See if it works. It's indicating. And it's not changing lane. Right, I'll overtake myself, shall I? I'm not sure why it's not working. Maybe I'm on the wrong type of road. And also, it does seem a little bit silly as to why I would need an automatic lane change system in a car. Just do it myself. It's a lot easier and safer.
And when you are traveling on long distance trips, you'll find the S-Class's built-in massages very useful. There are many modes that poke and prod you in different ways. Some will even warm you in just the right places to increase your levels of relaxation. There's even an absurdly powerful deep vibration massage that might actually be a little too powerful.
Don't believe me? Well, I'll show you how intensive they are, right? I brought a cereal bowl from home and I'm gonna fill it with water as a little prop. I'm gonna show you how intense this is. I'm gonna select Depth Waves, which is a massage program that vibrates the bottom of the seat, and hopefully the water will do something. It's not really, I mean, I can feel it. I can feel it, the water. Okay, that's a terrible demo. It's an awful demo, but basically the seat vibrates super hard and sends shivers up your sphincter in a way that, I don't know if I like it. Maybe I do like it, but there's a lot going on here.
Some might argue it's technology for technology's sake, but that's kind of the whole point with an S-Class. It tries to pamper you in ways you didn't know you needed, and that applies to parking.
So this car does quite a few things to help you with your parking. First of all, it's got this amazing camera system, which basically gives you a bird's eye view of everything that's around you. But also it's got parking assistance, which means that when you drive past a space, it will identify that space and also put you in that space. Okay, let's see if it works. I push this button. It's now scanning for a space. Will it locate a space? It's found two. Oh, it's got one. Okay, I think that's the space I want. So I'm gonna tap on it, press P, let go of the steering wheel and the accelerator and the brake, and we're gonna see what happens. It's moving. It's gonna crash. It's gonna crash. Is it gonna crash? Is it stopping? It should stop. Okay. We nearly hit that car. All right, it's going forward a bit. It's making a bit of a meal of this. I think I would have got that in one, I've got to say. But it's quite impressive how the steering wheel is moving by itself. It's accelerating and braking by itself. Let's see how precisely it gets into the space. Is it gonna stop as well? Stop, 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 stop! Ooh, that's quite impressive, isn't it? That's good. Look at that, that's bang on.
The other thing you can do is to program a set route to a set parking space. If there's a regular parking space you use, you can just record your motion up to that space and the car will replay it on command at your request.
Okay, so I've just recorded my route to my favorite parking spot, and now, having recorded it, I'm gonna play it back and see if the car actually drives exactly the way that I drove to get me in my favorite space. So, we hit the button, we press memory parking assist, and then we hit playback. It's active, Let's see what it does. Okay, hands off the steering wheel. I'm really curious to see, why is it going right? Okay, I'm really curious to see how it tackles that really tight curb over there. That is an absolute rim destroyer. I can do it, obviously. Can the car do it? Will the car do it? That's the question. I think it's gone a bit too wide. We have all-wheel steer, but I think that's too wide, you know? I'm stopping. Yeah, I'm stopping. That's quite close. Oh, it's fine. Oh my God. Cameraman says it's all right. It's done it. It's only gone and done it. That is millimeter precise. One small problem though, there's a Tesla parked here now. It wasn't there when I did the original recording. What's it gonna do? I'm gonna let it play out. It's gonna hit the Tesla. It's gonna hit the Tesla. Oh, it stopped. What will it do now? What will it do? Has it just given up? Yeah, it's given up. Okay, I've got to take manual control, put it back into drive, press play, press that button, back to memory parking, and we're gonna see what it does. No, don't hit the Tesla. Okay, we're good. We're good. I've got to say, it's doing it, but it's doing it really slowly. I'm definitely sure I wasn't this slow when I recorded it, but at least it's doing it. The one thing to watch out for is when I parked this car, I didn't park properly. It was kind of like almost between two spaces. Will it park exactly the same way as I did? Now we're in reverse. I like how on this screen, you've actually got the silhouette, the shadow of where you recorded your own maneuver. That's nice. Automatically parking in my favorite space in exactly the way that I did it. Obviously it stumbled when the Tesla arrived, but look at that, that's really good. Technology, eh?
So, lots of tech then, but what about the all-important efficiency? Well, Mercedes claims a whopping 353 miles per gallon on the WLTP cycle. That of course depends entirely on how you drive it in the real world and whether you have the battery charged or not, but it is possible. It's also worth noting the battery charging time, around 3.5 hours from a proper EV home charger, or 9 hours from a 3-pin plug. Also worth noting, the battery does take away some boot space, reducing it to 350 litres.
So what's my verdict on the Mercedes-Benz S580e AMG line Premium Plus manufacture? Is it as good as I expected? Do you know what? The cynical part of me wants to say they haven't really improved it as much as I wanted. And also the things that they have improved, how necessary are they? How important is it to have the option of a £10,000 paint job? How necessary is it to charge people 11 grand for orange leather? How necessary is it to charge 2.5 grand for walnut on your dashboard? I don't know. Would I spend that kind of money on my S-Class? I probably wouldn't personally, but there are people out there who definitely would. And to those people, I would say, do you know what? If you got the cash, go for it.